host. Welcome, Brainy Bees, to another buzzing episode of the Brainy Bee Book Club. Today, we're diving deep into a truly monumental work that's been making waves, quite literally, in the discourse around our technological future. We're talking about Mustafa Suleyman's The Coming Wave: Technology, Power, and the 21st Century's Greatest Dilemma. This isn't just a book. It's a profound exploration of what it means to be human at the precipice of unprecedented technological change. Host commentary: The Unfolding Dilemma of Our Age. Suleyman, a co-founder of DeepMind and Inflection AI, offers a sobering yet urgent analysis of the rapid advancements in artificial intelligence, AI, and synthetic biology, framing them as a coming wave that promises both godlike powers of creation and existential dangers. The central paradox he addresses is how humanity must contain uncontainable technologies. This isn't a simple challenge, and Suleyman is brave enough to admit there's no easy three-point plan. Instead, he presents a comprehensive look at what's coming, why it's so difficult to manage, and what collective action is required to navigate this turbulent future. The book posits that humanity stands at a critical turning point in history. We've always been a technological species, evolving in symbiosis with our tools. Historically, technology has diffused globally in waves, driven by an inescapable evolutionary nature, where costs fall, capabilities rise, and demand expands boundlessly. From ancient stone tools to the printing press and the internet, mass proliferation has been technology's historical default. However, the coming wave is described as qualitatively different from every previous one, accelerating faster and becoming harder to centralize and oversee. This leads to what Suleyman terms the dilemma, the increasing likelihood that both the emergence of these new technologies and their absence could lead to catastrophic or dystopian outcomes. The core challenge, the containment problem, is how to monitor, curtail, control, and potentially even shut down technologies that are predisposed to diffuse widely and have unpredictable impacts. 22. Suleyman frankly states that, on the face of it, containment is not possible, yet, for humanity's sake, it must be possible. This tension forms the backbone of the entire argument, the unique characteristics of the coming wave. Suleyman highlights 4 key features that make the coming wave particularly challenging to contain: asymmetry, hyperevolution, omni-use, and autonomy. Asymmetry. This refers to the colossal transfer of power to smaller groups or individuals. Historically, new technologies have redistributed power, but the coming wave amplifies this immensely. For example, a single AI program can generate text equivalent to all of humanity, or a tiny molecular event could trigger a global pandemic. This means that bad actor empowerment becomes a deeply concerning risk, as sophisticated tools become accessible to anyone with malicious intent. Hyperevolution. Technologies are now capable of learning, evolving, and improving at unprecedented rates. This is seen in AI models that can generate images from a few words, or in synthetic biology, where, quote, biological evolution is becoming subject to the same cycles as software. The ability for systems to improve through self-run trials means innovation cycles are dramatically compressed, leading to unpredictable ripples of consequence. Omni-use. This describes technologies with near-limitless potential applications, including both beneficial and harmful ones. The same AI that aids drug discovery can identify potent poisons. This dual-use nature means that even civilian technologies can have profound national security implications, making it incredibly difficult to anticipate or control the full spectrum of their uses. Autonomy. Systems are increasingly operating with minimal or no direct human input. As AI models become more complex, they become black boxes, whose decision-making processes are not fully explainable even to their creators. This raises the chilling prospect that these inventions could eventually be beyond our grasp. The concept of artificial capable intelligence, ACI, is introduced as an intermediate stage where AI can achieve complex tasks with minimal oversight, even if not fully sentient. 133, 134. This autonomy, especially when coupled with self-improvement, could lead to a, quote, gorilla problem, where a more intelligent entity could potentially dominate humans. The unstoppable drivers of the wave. Despite the inherent risks, Suleyman argues that there are unstoppable incentives driving the development and proliferation of these technologies, making the should we question moot. Great power competition. Nations perceive a strategic necessity to lead in AI and synthetic biology, leading to a technological arms race. China's ambitious AI development plans and its rapidly growing research output exemplify this fierce rivalry with the U.S. This fear-driven competition accelerates development, even if based on misperceptions. Openness imperative. The culture of scientific and technological research prioritizes open publication, peer review, and free sharing of information. This open technological innovation makes it nearly impossible to steer, govern, or shut down developments once they gain traction. Profit motive. The sheer scale of potential economic rewards is immense, with AI and biotech forecasted to add trillions to the global economy. This gold rush acts as a powerful, dispersed incentive for companies and entrepreneurs worldwide to develop and diffuse new technologies, making any interruption incredibly challenging. Global challenges. Technologies are seen as vital tools to address humanity's most intractable problems, from climate change and sustainable food to aging populations and disease. This moral imperative provides a strong, positive driver for innovation. Ego and curiosity. At a fundamental level, technologists are driven by innate curiosity and the desire to build what is technically sweet. This deeply human motivation pushes the boundaries of what is possible, often without full consideration of the consequences until after the fact. States of failure and fracturing foundations. The book highlights how these technologies will amplify existing fragilities within the nation-state system, which is already under immense strain from declining trust and inequality. New forms of attack, cyber attacks like WannaCry, demonstrate how sophisticated tools can be weaponized and unleashed by non-state actors or rogue states, disrupting critical infrastructure like health services. The proliferation of AI-powered drones with autonomous lethal capabilities further shifts the advantage to offense, making it difficult for states to maintain strategic superiority. The misinformation machine, AI-generated deepfakes, hyper-realistic synthetic media, can rapidly spread disinformation and misinformation, eroding trust in institutions, manipulating elections, and exacerbating social divisions, potentially leading to an infocalypse where the information ecosystem collapses. Inadvertent harms, lab leaks. Even well-intentioned research, particularly in synthetic biology, carries revenge effects, or unintended failure modes, such as accidental releases of novel pathogens. The rising number of high-containment biological labs globally, coupled with inconsistent safety standards, increases the risk of catastrophic pandemics. Technological unemployment. The increasing efficiency of AI systems, especially large language models, LLMs, poses a threat to cognitive manual labor, raising concerns about widespread job displacement. While some argue new jobs will emerge, Suleiman emphasizes the friction in labor markets and the risk of a jobs automation meltdown, amplifying societal fragility. Adding to this complexity is the paradoxical dual effect of the coming wave on power. It will lead to both immense concentration and radical decentralization. Megacorporations with trillion-dollar valuations will become even more powerful, akin to, quote, artificial intelligences that can efficiently run vast operations and capture compounding returns on intelligence, potentially rivaling traditional states. Concurrently, technologies like open-source AI models and cheap genetic engineering kits will distribute power to individuals and small groups, enabling, quote, biohackers in their garages to operate at the scientific frontier. This creates a world of contradictions, where any group, from Extinction Rebellion to drug cartels, can leverage advanced capabilities to pursue their goals, further stressing the nation-state. The path to containment, a call to action. Despite the daunting assessment that containment seems not possible, Suleiman outlines 10 interconnected steps that, if implemented coherently, could create a narrow path through the wave, avoiding both unbridled catastrophe and suffocating dystopia. These steps are not a magic bullet, but marginal gains, requiring a continuous accretion of interlocking countermeasures. 1. Technical safety. This means building hard physical control into technologies, such as air gaps, sandboxes, and off switches for AI, and developing provably secure systems. For synthetic biology, it entails robust pandemic preparedness, including low-wavelength light bulbs and integrated vaccine rollouts. A significant portion of R&D budgets, e.g. 20%, should be mandated for safety research, aiming for an Apollo program on AI and biosafety. 2. Audits. To ensure transparency and accountability, regular, independent audits of frontier technologies are crucial. This includes red teaming, proactively finding flaws, monitoring data inputs, and implementing Know Your Customer checks for foundational AI services. The Secure DNA program, which screens all synthesized DNA, is cited as a model for biorisk reduction. 3. Choke points. Identifying and controlling strategic bottlenecks, such as advanced chip manufacturing, cloud computing infrastructure, and rare earth elements, can buy time for regulators and defensive technologies to catch up. 5. Businesses. Corporations must reconcile profit with social purpose, adopting hybrid organizational structures that embed safety and ethics into their legal DNA, such as public benefit corporations. DeepMind's own efforts to establish an ethics and safety board and explore a global interest company model, though difficult, represent this ambition. 4. Makers, builders, technologists themselves bear a crystal clear responsibility to actively work on solutions, not just observe problems. Critics are encouraged to be practitioners and engage directly in building safer technologies, fostering intellectual diversity and ethical considerations from the outset. 6. Governments. States must be bolstered, investing in in-house technical expertise, monitoring tech developments, and enacting effective regulation that targets incentives and permits hard brakes. This includes licensing advanced technologies, treating them with the same stringent oversight as nuclear reactors or rocket launches. Fiscal policy, like taxing automation, can also help manage the transition. 7. Alliances. International cooperation is essential for a common worldwide approach to contain technologies that cross borders. Historical examples like nuclear non-proliferation treaties and the Montreal Protocol offer precedents. A proposed AI audit authority, AAA, could increase global transparency and inform national licensing efforts. 8. Culture. A self-critical culture that enthusiastically learns from failures, like the aviation industry's safety record, is vital. This requires transparency, immediate self-reporting of problems, and a do-no-harm ethos, reminiscent of the Hippocratic Oath or the Asilomar Principles for biosciences. 9. Movements. Since there is no functional we to control technology, popular movements are needed to build one. Grassroots activism, citizen assemblies, and broad-based coalitions can generate the public pressure necessary to align divergent interests and demand accountable change. 10. The narrow path. Coherence. This final step emphasizes the interconnectedness and continuous nature of containment. It's not a destination, but an ongoing process, a delicate equilibrium that must be actively maintained between total openness, leading to catastrophe, and complete closure, leading to dystopia. It requires a willingness to say no, implement real censorship when necessary, and accept greater oversight while simultaneously resisting overreach that erases freedom and privacy. Suleiman acknowledges the human tendency towards pessimism aversion, which leads us to downplay or ignore uncomfortable truths about technology. He argues that, unlike climate change, there's no handy metric of risk or universal consensus on the scale of the technological threat, making collective action harder. Yet, he remains temperamentally an optimist, believing that by confronting this dilemma head-on and aggregating small efforts, humanity can indeed sculpt the coming wave to serve human needs and values, rather than being swept away by it. The book is a stark warning, but also a powerful call to agency, emphasizing that the outcome is not yet fixed. Hosting that Brainy Bees is just a glimpse into the profound and thought-provoking arguments within the coming wave. Mustafa Suleiman challenges us to move beyond simplistic narratives of techno-utopianism or techno-catastrophism and truly grapple with the complexities of our technological future. If this discussion has piqued your curiosity about the true nature of the 21st century's greatest dilemma, the unstoppable forces shaping our world, or the concrete steps we can take to ensure technology serves humanity, then I wholeheartedly recommend picking up this book. It's an essential read for anyone who cares about the future, offering gripping insight, clarity, realism, and a persuasive roadmap. It's a critical education that will not only shape your view of the future and rewire your understanding of the present, but also leave you energized and thrilled to be alive right now as you consider the monumental challenge and the awesome prize of securing humanity's long-term flourishing. Dive in and join the vital conversation. Outro music fades in, similar to intro.